All right. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Boker Tov, good morning. Sorry, got a kink in my shoulder. Anyways, finally went and got some sleep last night. Man, wiped out. Felt so bad about last night. First part of Torah talk time, man. It was like a bunch of brain dead zombies sitting there. But, all right, so we are day number 24, Proverbs 24. Do not be envious of evil men, nor desire to be with them. Devises violence, and their lips talk of troublemaking. Through wisdom a house is built, and by understanding it is established. By knowledge the rooms are filled with all precious and pleasant riches. A wise man is strong, yes, a man of knowledge increases strength. For by wise counsel you will wage your own war, and in a multitude of counselors there is safety. Wisdom is too lofty for a fool. He does not open his mouth in the gate. He who plots to do evil will be called a schemer. The devising of foolishness is sin, and the scoffer is an abomination to men. If you faint in the day of adversity, your strength is small. Deliver those who are drawn toward death, and hold back those stumbling to the slaughter. If you say, surely we did not know this, does not he who weighs the hearts consider it? He who keeps your soul, does he not know it? And will he not render to each man according to his deeds? My son, eat honey because it is good, and the honeycomb which is sweet to your taste. So shall the knowledge of wisdom be to your soul. If you have found it, there is a prospect, and your hope will not be cut off. Do not lie in wait, O wicked man, against the dwelling of the righteous. Do not plunder his resting place. For a righteous man may fall 7 times and rise again, but the wicked shall fall by calamity. Do not rejoice when your enemy falls, and do not let your heart be glad when he stumbles. Lest Jehovah see it, and it displease him, and he turns away his wrath from him. Do not fret because of evildoers, nor be envious of the wicked. For there will be no prospect for the evil man. The lamp of the wicked will be put out. My son, fear Jehovah and the king. Do not associate with those given to change. For their calamity will rise suddenly, and who knows the ruin those two can bring. These things also belong to the wise. It is not good to show partiality in judgment. He who says to the wicked, you are righteous, him the people will curse. Nations will abhor him. But those who rebuke the wicked will have delight, and a good blessing will come upon them. He who gives a righteous answer kisses the lips. Prepare your outside work. Make it fit for yourself in the field, and afterward build your house. Do not be a witness against your neighbor without cause, for would you deceive with your lips? Do not say, I will do to him just as he has done to me. I will render to the man according to his work. I went by the field of the lazy man, and by the vineyard of the man devoid of understanding. And there it was, all grown with thorns. Its surface was covered with nettles. Its stone wall was broken down. When I saw it, I considered it well. I looked on it and received instruction, a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest. So shall your poverty come like a prowler, and your need like an armed man. Man, I tell you, I just can't express enough how much I love the Psalms. So if we kind of break some of this down, there's a couple key things that stand out. One thing being right at the beginning, do not be envious of evil men, nor desire to be with them. You know, it's easy to be wicked. It's easy to go and do, like the person that I used to be, hateful and violent, being an ex-biker, doing drugs, dealing drugs, all of that stuff. It would be so easy to go back into that life because, that life, man, you always had money, you always had whatever you wanted, but always had to watch your back because you never knew who would burn you. You never knew who would betray you. And that's the key. I mean, people see the rich, they see all these people, and I've seen believers struggle with this. They look at even the wicked of the body, or what claim to be of the body. These pastors and all their money, and they've got their big mega churches, and they got nothing to worry about and stuff like that. But what we tend to forget is, they got plenty to worry about, they just don't know it. All this money, everything they have. And it's weird because last night, and it's funny that I had this dream, considering what the first of this, wait a minute. Oh, you got to be kidding me. I just realized I read Proverbs 24 and not Psalm 24. Okay. That's interesting. Did anybody catch that? Any of y'all catch that, or y'all just listening? Bless your hearts. Huh. Okay, well, time to read Psalm 24. I'm going to have to ponder on why that happened. Okay, so let's try this again. Day 24, Psalm 24. The earth is Jehovah's and all its fullness, the world and those who dwell therein, for he has founded it upon the seas and established it upon the waters. Who may ascend into the hill of Jehovah, or who may stand in his holy place? He who has clean hands and a pure heart, who has not lifted up his soul to an idol, nor sworn deceitfully. He shall receive blessing from Jehovah and righteousness from the Elohim of his salvation. This is Yaakov, the generation of those who seek him, who seek your face. Lift up your heads, O you gates, and be lifted up, you everlasting doors. I got two squirrels over my shoulder here fighting with each other. Lift up your heads, O you gates, and be lifted up, you everlasting doors. And the King of glory shall come in. Who is this King of glory? Jehovah, strong and mighty. Jehovah, mighty in battle. Lift up your heads, O you gates, lift up your everlasting doors, you everlasting doors. And the King of glory shall come in. Who is this King of glory? Jehovah Tzvaot. He is the King of glory. All right, so yeah, Amen, Kimberly and Amy. So give me a second. I want to see. Why did I read these two chapters? What's the connection? Okay. I get it. All right. Go with me here. Bear with me here as I try to paint this picture of what I believe I'm seeing. And it's not some special revelation or nothing. I'm not saying that, but you look at Psalm 24, this whole chapter is based off of the glory of Yehovah. The earth is Yehovah's. It starts out with that, and all its fullness. The world and those who dwell therein, for he has founded it upon the seas. I'm going to read this chapter again, so listen carefully. And if you have your Bibles, open up to Psalm 23 and open up to Proverbs 24. We're going to touch on them both because it's not, I don't think it's just some happy accident that I read both chapters this morning. So we're going to look at this. So the earth is Yehovah's and its fullness. And this is Psalm 24. The world and those who dwell in. The earth is Yehovah's and all its fullness, the world and those who dwell therein. For he has founded it upon the seas and established it upon the waters. Who may ascend into the hill of Yehovah? Nobody, unless he allows it. Or who may stand in his holy place? He who has clean hands and a pure heart, who has not lifted up his soul to an idol. Oh man. Nor sworn deceitfully. He shall receive blessing from Yehovah and righteousness from the El of his salvation. This is Yaakov, Jacob, the generation of those who seek him, who seek your face. This is Jacob. What does Scripture teach us about that? We are coming in the time of Jacob's trouble. This is Jacob, the generation of those who seek him, who seek your face. Lift up your heads, O you gates, and be lifted up, you everlasting doors. The King of glory shall come in. Who is this King of glory? Yehovah, strong and mighty. Yehovah, mighty in battle. Lift up your heads, O you gates. Lift up, you everlasting doors, and the King of glory shall come in. Who is this King of glory? Yehovah Tzvaot, the Lord of hosts. He is King of glory. Now let's go back to Proverbs 24. Now listen to what this says here. Listen to what this is saying at this very start. Do not be envious of evil men, nor desire to be with them. For their heart devises violence, and their lips talk of troublemaking. So right out at the start of Psalm 24, Yah is telling us, the earth is mine and everything that dwells in it. It all belongs to me. And he says that I will bless the righteous and the holy. And here we look at what I was starting to say before I realized I read the wrong chapter. We put our eyes on, especially for believers, we put our eyes on these spiritual leaders who have all this money and cars and everything, and they got all this. They get treated like a rock star, so to speak. They have everything. And I was going to share, I had this dream last night. And it's so weird that this is what I dreamt about, and this is what I'm reading. In my dream, I dreamt of spiritual leaders and how those who are content with everything of how their doctrine is. They live by their own doctrine. They have their money and they stay in this place of comfort. They never step out of that comfort zone. They're never willing to walk away from everything. They have this mindset of they got it all figured out in the way that they live and believe is it. But yet everything they do is in enmity to Yah. They're wicked and sinful because not only are they breaking the commandments of Yah, but they are they're peddling Yah's word in the way that they use it to fill their pockets with money and everything else. And so do not be envious of evil men, nor desire to be with them. How many, especially when you're a baby in the Word and stuff, and you see these pastors and how they're lifted up so high and everything, and the money they have and everything, and the way that they treat the Word is their own personal genie bottle and everything else. And these babies in the Word, they desire to be like them. They want to be like them. They want to have what they have. It's not about the wicked of the world. It's about the wicked of those who claim to be of the Word of Yah. Because when we go back to Psalm 24, after Yah declares that everything belongs to him, he founded the seas, he established the waters. Who ascends to the hill of Yehovah? Who may stand in his holy place? He also says, where is it here? He says, he who has clean hands and a pure heart, who has not lifted up his soul to an idol, nor sworn deceitfully. That's who ascends into the hill of Yehovah. That's who stands in his holy place. And that is who, verse 5, shall receive blessings from Yehovah and righteousness from the Elohim of his salvation. And then he calls us that this is Jacob, the generation of those who seek him, who seek your face. And that's who we are. And so going back to Proverbs 24, then he goes and he says, through wisdom a house is built, and by understanding it is established. By knowledge the rooms are filled with all precious and pleasant riches. A wise man is strong, yes, a man of knowledge increases strength. For by wise counsel you will wage your own war, and in a multitude of counselors there is safety. Wisdom is too lofty for a fool. He does not open his mouth in the gate. We deal with a lot of foolishness today. We deal with a lot who would fit the category of wisdom is too lofty for a fool. We have so many who are trying to declare the word to mean something that it doesn't. Again, all of those who are these big names, these leaderships and everything, they don't have wisdom. They have no knowledge. They have no counsel. They have no understanding. They have no strength. Because you take their money and they all would crash. They would all fall away from Yah. They would all turn their back on him. They would all die spiritually in every way unless Yah saved them. But you take their wallet and it's all gone. They have no foundation. A wise man is strong. Yes, a man of knowledge increases strength. By knowledge, the rooms are filled with precious and pleasant riches. This ain't talking about money. It's just talking about being filled with the strength. Through wisdom, a house is built, and by understanding, it is established. When we understand the word of Yah, and we learn from the wisdom of Yah, and it applies to our walk and our life. This is what Yeshua was talking about, or Scripture was talking about in the parable of the house that is built on the rock and the house that is built on the sand. Those who rely on all of their blessing because they're filling their wallet, these pastors who all they do is get you to give their money to them and everything. Their house is built on the sand because the minute you take that paper dollar out from under their feet, they're in sinking sand. But we who truly stand on the word of Yah, we who believe in him, trust in him, and no matter what hardships we go through, we keep our eyes on him. We stay focused on the one who created, that said that the heavens and the earth is mine. I have established the seas. I have set the waters in their place. And when we do this, no matter what comes at us, we are on that rock. We cannot be moved. Our roots are deep, grounded in like a massive oak tree, and when the winds and the waves hit it, it cannot be wavered. It cannot be budged. He who plots to do evil will be called a schemer. 9, the devising of foolishness is sin. The scoffer is an abomination to men. If you faint in the day of adversity, your strength is small. What did I just say? Deliver those who are drawn toward death. Deliver those who are drawn toward death, and hold back those stumbling to the slaughter. This is us. Jude talks about it. I think it's verse 20 and 21. It references being a time to pull the people out of the fire gently. I believe we're past that time now, because it also says that there are some that we must yank out of the fire. And I believe that we are in that time now, and more so every day that passes, where we have got to be more bold and more forward than ever about telling people this has to stop. You must stop this. This is not of Jehovah. Stop breaking his commandments, especially to those who are saying that they keep Shabbat or they keep his Torah, but yet they break it all the time. Does not he who weighs the heart consider it? Okay, let me back up. Verse 12, and if you say, surely we did not know this, we are not going to fool Yah. We cannot get anything past him. He weighs the hearts. Does he not consider it? He who keeps your soul, does he not know it? And will he not render to each man according to his deeds? And then he tells us, my son, eat honey because it's good, the honeycomb which is sweet to your taste. So shall the knowledge of wisdom be to your soul. If you have found it, there is a prospect, and your hope will not be cut off. Then he warns the wicked man, do not lie in wait against the dwelling of the righteous. Do not plunder his resting place. Now here's where I want to touch on too. For a righteous man may fall 7 times and rise again, but the wicked shall fall by calamity. And Mishpachah, I know that, each one of us have been guilty at one time or another where the church and Christianity has had a really bad taste in our mouth. But we have to remember and not allow ourselves to become hardened heart or cold because we were in the same place. Whether it was in the church, whether you were in Wicca, whether you were atheist, no matter what it is, you were still in a false religion at one point. And Yah has brought you out of the truth. And maybe it was because somebody prayed for you. Maybe it's because somebody did something, and it led you on the path to where you are today, and with wisdom and understanding of his Torah. We have to be the same way. And this is a part of what I've been talking about, even in the sermons that I did about our thoughts betray us, and the 2 teachings, the last 2 Shabbats, and about what we let come out of our mouth. We need to not speak against the body or Christianity or the church as a whole. We need to be speaking blessing over them that they will come to the truth of Torah. Now, as the religious institution, the church is perverse. It was born out of wickedness through Constantine. We know that truth. We know that the church from its inception has taught to disobey Yah. But it's the people in it that we need to pray for. When you look, even no matter what, there is not a heart on this planet that Yah cannot soften. Even somebody as far gone to us as the Pope or the Mahdi of Islam or Buddha or whatever it is. There is no heart that Yah cannot break through if he chooses to. But the thing that I want to warn you about, that we need to be warned about, he says, Do not rejoice when your enemy falls. We're not to rejoice in that, but we're to have mercy. We're to have compassion. We're to pray. Yeshua said, pray for your enemies. And that's coming right out of Proverbs 24. Do not rejoice when your enemy falls. Do not let your heart be glad when he stumbles. But we should feel pity for them, because we at one time were in the same place. Remember the hole that Yah brought you out of. Because he says, he gives indication, if we rejoice over our enemy and we let our heart be glad when he stumbles, Yehovah sees it and it displeases him. He turns away his wrath from him. And so back to Psalm 24 to close out with. I want to read it again. And listen carefully. The earth is Yehovah's, and all its fullness, the world and those who dwell therein. For he has founded it upon the seas and established it upon the waters. Who may ascend into the hill of Yehovah, or who may stand in his holy place? He who has clean hands and a pure heart, who has not lifted up his soul to an idol, nor sworn deceitfully. He shall receive blessing from Yehovah and righteousness from the Elohim of his salvation. This is Yaakov, the generation of those who seek him, who seek your face. Lift up your heads, O you gates, and be lifted up, you everlasting doors, and the King of glory shall come in. Who is this King of glory? Yehovah strong and mighty, Yehovah mighty in battle. Lift up your heads, O you gates, lift up, you everlasting doors, and the King of glory shall come in. Who is this King of glory? Yehovah Tzvaot, he is the King of glory. You know, we've talked it together here on Facebook, in messaging or talking on the phone, or talk time, whatever it is. When we come together, this is an opportunity for us to sharpen one another. This is a time for us to encourage each other, to strengthen each other. And it's not so that we can feel good for the next 6 days, but it's so that we can go about our Father's business. It's so that we can be that light on the hill. It's so that we can help others come to the same place that we're at. It doesn't matter what they've done. It doesn't matter where they're at. It doesn't matter how foolish they may seem or speak or act. We still try. Because whatever we speak to somebody in truth, it is one of two things. It is either to their edification or it will be to their judgment, which Yah will decide. But for us, it's to do our duty. It's to do what Yeshua said to do in Mark 16:15. Go out into the world and preach the gospel unto all creation. That's exactly what we're supposed to do. We don't get to pick and choose who we do that with. We are to share the word. We're to lift people up, not hope that they fall or fail, not hope that they, just be destroyed. If we have ever felt that way or said that to if we have ever felt that way or thought that way, we need to repent of that. Because all the earth belongs to Yehovah. And if we find joy in the destruction of our enemies, as it said in Proverbs 24, Yah will be displeased and he will turn his wrath away from him. We want Yah to convict that person. We want Yah to break that person, to save that person just like he did us. We are this generation that seeks his face. And that generation is also the ones who seek harder to spread the word of Yehovah to others. If we are truly a part of that generation, if we are the generation that seeks the face of Yehovah, then it means we do his work, we do his duty, we do his will. We seek that none would be lost. Like Yeshua said, he would that none would be lost. Now we know people are going to fall, and we know people are going to be lost, and we know people aren't going to make it into heaven. But I sure don't want to be a part of somebody not having a chance to make it to heaven because I looked at him and judged him, or because I thought he's not worth my time. He won't hear what I have to say. He won't listen. We don't get to make that choice. We need to be about our Father's business. We need to seek his face. And a part that we seek his face, like Yeshua said, he who causes one to turn away from sin and come unto the Father covers a multitude of sin, and the heavens will rejoice. I want to be a cause of bringing a great amount of rejoicing in the heavens. I want to cause the angels to be praising Yah over and over and over, because souls are coming to Yah and repenting, or coming back to Yah in repentance. Amen. So, Mishpachah, for whatever reason that this happened like it did, Proverbs 24 and Psalm 24, read it out for yourself today. Ponder on it and meditate on it, and ask Yah to give you what he wants you to get out of it, and apply it. And may we be that light on the hill and not a light under a bushel. May we be that light in the midst of the deepest, thickest darkness that surrounds us, that is growing around us more and more every day. We see the wickedness throughout the news and throughout the laws being passed and through everything else. It is growing like a wildfire. Are we going to be the water of life to put part of it out, or are we going to sit here and just watch it burn by us? It's up to us. Amen. So I love you all. Shabbat shalom to y'all. And for those who are able, tune in today at 2 p.m. Mountain Time for Anthony to start his two-part series on the Levitical priesthood, Melchizedek priesthood. I think it's going to be awesome. May you all be blessed. I love you all. Shalom, shalom.